crochet friends, it's me, Jonah, and in today's show and tell from Yarn Inspirations, I'll be showing you how to make the mittens of the Patton's Crochet cabled hat and mitten set. And the hat is just as easy to make, but of course you're working it in the round with more stitches. And the way these are worked is starting off with a half double crochet ribbed brim, front post and back post half double crochet, a backing of half double crochet, and then the front is a very simplistic cable, which you will get in no time, and then the thumb is just a continuation of half double crochet as well. And then you finish it off on top with a flat seam as opposed to a round one in many mittens, and you make your other mitten and you're good to go. Now you can use a wide variety of yarns. I decided to use this chic sheep yarn from Marley Bird, which is 100% wool, and it's almost like Karen's Simply Soft or Patton's Wool Worsted, so any thinner 4-weight is great for this project. And this is the color Vineyard, which I'll be using today. And then also get yourself a pair of scissors, a tapestry needle, and as the pattern suggests, a 4.5mm crochet hook or whatever you can match gauge with. And today I'll be showing you how to start it out with the rib stitch. I'll be next showing you how to work some of the cabling section. And then number 3, I'll be showing you how to work the thumb. So here's the mitten. And as you can see, you start off working the right mitten and then repeat the directions to a certain point and then finish and you'll have your left one. But you start out here at the bottom with a chain of 36, slip stitch to make a ring, and then you'll work 2 inches of half double crochet ribbing, front post, back post, front post, back post, repeat around. And then from there, you'll work a round of half double crochet. And if I turn this to the side a little bit, you can see you'll work a cable that will naturally slant because you're working in the round. And then at this specific point right here, you'll start shaping your thumb gusset, which for many people is the most difficult part about working on mittens. And then you'll keep working your thumb gusset, and I'll show you how to do that. And then once you finish with your thumb gusset, you'll work another round, and keep in mind this cable pattern stays the same. And then you'll skip an allotted number of stitches and continue working your cable. And then you'll get to a certain point right here and you'll begin to work your decreases. But I'll begin with the first section, which is showing you how to work the half double crochet ribbing. So I'm going to put a slip knot on my hook and you'll be chaining 36. I'm going to start off with a slightly smaller chain just because I'm showing you how to do it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And I think 18 will be good. So then my next step is to slip stitch to the first chain, making sure that I don't twist my chain. So put a slip stitch in to that first chain. And keep in mind, you should have 36. I just have 18 because I'm just making a smaller sample to show you one of 3 sections. And the next step is to start by working up a chain 1 or a chain 2, depending on your preference. I'll chain 2 to show you because that's what the pattern says, although I do prefer to chain 1 as I think it makes it less seamless. And then I'll half double crochet in this first chain and into the next and all the way around. And you half double crochet by yarning over your hook, inserting under 2 loops, 1 loop, the back loop, however you'd like into your chain, pulling up a loop so you have 3 on your hook, and then you yarn over and pull through those 3 loops, and you have a half double crochet. So we'll do that again, and do that again. And this is setting up the base where you're going to work your rib stitches on top of this. And it's really important, like I mentioned earlier, that you don't twist your chain because you'll really be able to see it on the bottom of the cuff of your mitten. Half double crochet again, half double crochet again. I have about 4 more stitches left or so. half double crochet, making sure to go under both loops, half double crochet again, and in this last stitch right here, make sure to get it, not the slip stitch, half double crochet, and then slip stitch to the first half double crochet, ignoring the chain 2, and you should have 36 half double crochet, and then chain up another 2, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit here because I'm going to be showing you how to do a post stitch. And the way you work it is by going through to the back of this next stitch and back up to the front, and then working half double crochet as normal, and then going back to the front, to the back, and pulling up and making half double crochet as normal. And you'll see how the front post stitches make the fabric come forward, and the back post stitches make it recede into the back with a little bit of a line across it. And you'll keep alternating this all the way around, and since you have 36 stitches, you should have 18 front post and 18 back post. I'll have 9 and 9 because I'm working off an 18 stitch sample. Post stitch, and post stitch again. And if there's a little bit of buckling in your foundation chain, that's just fine. There's 2 ways to remedy that. Number 1, you can go back and work in the back loop for a tighter chain. You can make your chain tighter, or I guess there's a third way. You can use a smaller hook for your chain as well, or add a slip stitch border around the back. I'm coming up on my last few stitches here, and then I'll show you the repeat row for the entirety of the cuff. Like so, and then I'll slip stitch to my first front post half double crochet, and then I'm going to chain 2 again, and in this first stitch I'm going to work another front post half double crochet. Now I'm going to work another back post by yarning over, going from the back out to the back again, half double crochet, front post, putting my hook to the back and bringing it to the front, back post, bringing it to the front and to the back. And a good way to know which one you're doing is when you go like this, is the post of this stitch on the front of my hook or on the back? Here it's on the front, and now here it's on the back. And this is the ribbing that's at the base of both of your mittens, and you'll continue working this until you have about 2 inches or so right here, and you can adjust this to make it shorter or longer, however you'd like. And you can see how it creates a nice stretchy band, so that is great, and it also stretches down to keep you nice and warm. And also when it stretches out, you're able to see these ribbed bands in between here more easily than when you can just see the post stitches. So work up 2 inches, and then the next step will be, I'm going to show you how to do this cabling, and then I'll show you how to do the thumb. So after you finish the rib section, it's time to start to learn how to make this cable. And I'll be showing you how to make this cable, omitting the rib section by working a new chain here, but you'll just work what I'm about to show you off of the rib stitching, which you've already done. And the way you'll work it is by repeating the same set of 3 rows for the cable. But all the other stitches, other than the thumb gusset here where your work increases, are just straight half double crochets, excluding the decreases up here at the top, of course. And you'll start by just working a round of half double crochet on top of your rib stitches, and then we'll get started. So I already have my round of half double crochet worked, and now it's time to get cracking. So my next thing to do is to chain 2, and in each of the first 5 half double crochets, work 1 stitch. Three, 4, and 5. And then the next step is to work one front post half double crochet into the next half double crochet. So around this post, not this one because this one's already been worked through from this stitch, so skip over to the next one. Work a double crochet, and then in the next stitch work a regular half double crochet, and then work 4 front post double crochets. And to reiterate, these are double crochets, not half double crochets in the front post. 3 and 4. And then you'll work a half double crochet and a regular front post double crochet. And then you'll continue with just half double crocheting in your last 17 stitches. Oh, my bad, your last 23 stitches. It'll get to be 17 once you start working on your thumb gusset rounds. And keep in mind, for the entirety of the rest of the mitten, there's not a single back post stitch. It's all front post and skip stitches and half double crochet from here. And all of the front post stitches from this point on are now double crochet. So I'm going to keep on half double crocheting around. And then the other thing is, make sure that you're going through 2 loops, because it's really easy to accidentally go through here, and that's making a wide or modified half double crochet. You want to be going through the top 2 loops, because if you do this right here, that opens it up, and you don't want that in a mitten. You want mittens to be nice and with a closed texture, closed weave. And half double crochet again. And now slip stitch to my first half double crochet to complete a round. So now in our next step is to chain 2 and work 5 half double crochets. And keep in mind, the chain 2 never counts as a stitch, just ignore it. And then in our first stitch here, we'll work a front post double crochet, and then a half double crochet. And now we're going to learn how to work the actual crisscrossing section of the cable. So these next 2 front post stitches, we're going to skip them, and in number 3 and 4, we're going to work a front post double crochet. And then the 2 that we skipped, we're going to come back to, going in front of our work like so, pull up, and work front post double crochets. And then go to this one, and work front post double crochets. And then you're going to work half double crochet, and then work another front post double crochet. So then I'm going to half double crochet, and just keep half double crocheting around. And then on the next row, it wouldn't be time technically to do this yet, but I'll still be doing it just to show you how to work the thumb gusset. But if you were going to follow the pattern, which of course you should be doing because there will be a free written pattern linked to down below, and I'm just showing you the main techniques and stitches used, you'll have to actually work this repeating rounds 3 and 4 all the way up to 6 and 7 with 2 of the flat rounds in between. Okay? And now I'll begin to work the thumb gusset, even though for the pattern, like I'll say again, you'll have to go to the link in the description box below to get the free pattern. Because right now I'm just showing you the main techniques. So we're going to chain up 2 and work 5 half double crochets. Making sure not to do a wide half double crochet. Front post double crochet, half double crochet, and here's where it gets a little tricky. You want to front post double crochet and reach in the back here around this first post stitch. And it's kind of hidden, but once you work a post stitch around this one and around this next one in the back, and then move forward and work a front post double crochet around these 2 stitches, and then work 2 or so stitches after these 4 with your half double crochet, front post double crochet. You're able to see how this pulls it forward, and then it makes that official cross. And now I'm going to begin the thumb gusset, even though this is not where you'd normally be doing this at this point in the pattern. So it starts off with your normal row up until this point, where then you'll work 4 half double crochet. And then in the next 2 stitches, you'll each put 2 half double crochets. And then you'll continue as normally, half double crocheting in each stitch around. Just putting 1 half double crochet. Half double crochet again. Half double crochet. And if you keep increasing in groups of 2, you'll see how this will begin to form out your thumb gusset. And I want to reiterate that in between here, there'll be a row of no thumb gusset increases, just straight half double crochets. So every other row is where you'll be increasing. So I'm going to front post again, and again, and then slip stitch, chain up 2, work 5 half double crochets, and then I'll do the usual. In this next stitch, work a front post double crochet, work a half double crochet, and then work 4 more front post double crochets. And then I'll half double crochet in the next stitch. Then in the next, I'll front post double crochet. Now if I was working according to the actual pattern, I would just work 1 half double crochet in each of these stitches to the back, but just imagine that I did that, and this would be the next row of the thumb gusset, where I would work up 4 half double crochets, again, 2, 3, and 4, and then I would put 2 half double crochets into the next stitch. And then in each of the next 2 stitches, I'll put 1 half double crochet. And then into the next stitch, I'll put 2. And then I'll half double crochet into each stitch across. And then the joining row right here will just be another row of just regular half double crochet. Then you'd work 4 half double crochets after here, work 2 into this stitch, work 1, 2, 3, 4, and then work 2 into this stitch. And you'll continue this pattern all the way up through until the point where you're at row 8. And at row 8, there should be 8 rows since your first 2 half double crochets right here. So if you add up this 8 plus the 7 that you had to do previously, before you begin, you should have 15 rows of half double crochet. And from there, I'll show you how to move on to your next step, which is creating the thumb, and then we'll actually work half of the thumb to show you as well. Now it's time for the final part. After you work 5 half double crochets, on your 9th round, you're going to yarn over and then skip the next 8 half double crochets. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And into this next stitch, you're just going to half double crochet as normal. And then into the next stitch, half double crochet, half double crochet, half double crochet, and half double crochet again. And that's how you make your thumb hole. And to make the actual thumb, all you have to do is start by putting your single crochets through each of these stitches, just going around through this little loop here, and you'll just keep working the rest of your mitten off of here. I hope you enjoyed learning the 3 most important parts of how to make the mittens from the Patton's Cabled Hat and Mitten set. Number 1, the brim. Number 2, the cable. And number 3, how to make the thumb hole. And the thumb itself is very self-explanatory. Just half double crochet with 1 row of single crochet to make it a nice, tight, and seamless join. I certainly hope you'll make these mittens and also give the hat a try too. It didn't look that difficult, and it uses the same cabled stitch which is in the mittens, and they make a perfect set to gift for yourself or any other reason that you stitch or crochet for. Please make sure to check out Yarn Inspirations as well as JonahHands.com and my YouTube channel, Jonah's Hands. And one last thing about these mittens, don't go too big on your hook size, because this is just regular half double crochet and you don't want it to get open, because some worsted weight yarns are a thinner 4, and that creates more of a loose and open work fabric, which you do not want for a winter set of mittens. Other than that, please make sure to subscribe, like I just said, and have a nice day, and crochet away, friends.